It's a crossover episode? No, it's not. You are not experiencing deja vu. I am just playing the patch we made in the previous session. Why? Because I wanna rework this into something completely different. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. In the last session, I talked about turning the drums from two congas and a little high-pitched dude, and I was gonna do kick, snare, and hi-hat. This is my typical way, but I've decided to go in a different direction, so I'm gonna start deleting some modules now before making a whole new patch. So I'm gonna get rid of the drums for now, and I'm also gonna get rid of the second oscillator. Oh, I lost my LFO with him. Sorry about that. Darn it, again. I'll select just one of them. There he goes. And I don't need his envelope either. So this is a different twist on subtractive synthesis. I'm subtracting modules from the patch altogether. It's not that funny. But it's fine. When I was building this nice little melodic pattern, which we can now hear by itself, I was thinking of how to inject some more weirdness into it, which is kind of what I want to do now. And in that case, since we have the same notes of the melody, I will probably use this as a variation part in an upcoming recording to paste together with the other part of the Berlin Wall. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this now as Berlin Wall 2. No, let's call it Berlin Wall B. Let's see what we can do here. I want to introduce some melodic variation, but I've already mentioned before that I only have these two pitch inputs. So since we were really running out of processing power, I knew that there was only so much further I could take the patch with all the percussion and everything in it. So I'm going to go ahead and build two of these. And where are they going to go? I guess the smart place to put them would be here, because they're going to mix the signals of the outputs of these sequencers. I just hope that one being silent and the other playing won't cause any issues when they end up in the mixer. So that one is going into there, and he's followed by this guy. So instead, let's put channel 1 here, channel 2 here, and send the mixed output to here. Good, that worked. So let's repeat it for over here. And this guy in. Great, so we preserved the sequence and we preserved the melodic integrity, or whatever you want to call it, and now we still have an extra pitch input for each of the oscillators so that we can send him something odd later, which was the whole plan. So let's set up that oddness now, I guess. Gonna make another. We were using note seek A, so let's just stick with that for now. sequencer, eh? Here we go. So this one in this row is going to modify number 1, and this guy is going to modify number 2. The next trick becomes how to actually do that. So I'm going to move this guy down for space. The control mixer method has proved successful, so we're going to make a couple more of those. Is this the best way to do it? I think it should work. I just patched him in here. Great. So we may not even end up using these pitch inputs, but that's fine because I want to have access to the invert knob and the amount knob on these mixers, which the pitch knob by itself would not have. So let's do this again. Let's send the output up here. Great. Okay, well now I'm going to input a sequence into each of these, which is probably quite similar to what they had before, based around ultra low octaves and stuff. So a lot of -12s and a lot of -24s in here. In some ways I'm inputting these randomly, but I am going to include that same musical theme of 2 notes ascending up that we had before to suggest that. And of course the second bassline, second voice didn't get almost any variations in notes. Let's give him some -5s today, which is just down to the 5th after the root. Still give him some 24s. Because I don't really know how I'm going to run these yet. I just know I want them to run as variation. My first thought was to divide the clock. So, clock divider. Don't be shocked if I end up changing my mind on this one. So we have the normal clock that was clocking everybody, 16 steps. If we send him in here, divide him in half so he's twice as slow, and then send that to the sequencers. And then we're going to drop the inputs down here. Oh, I wonder. Yeah. Okay. Control mixers were a good option, but I want to use something else. Yes. These are going to lose their patching, so we'll just have to redo them. That's fine. Control mixer is fine for the first one, and I'll still experiment with the invert button, but I actually need to be able to switch between normal sequence and weird sequence, so I need the crossfader. For now, I'll just plug normal sequence into number 1, leave them hard right, stick them back into the pitch input, and we should be golden. Just want to point out again, cable color doesn't really mean anything as long as it's the right signal going to the right place. As long as you don't process it in some way, and we're not really with these mixers. These mixers are just mixers. They will work perfectly. So these red cables as opposed to blue, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But what I have set up now is the fact that I can fade in my alternate melodies when I want to. It's important to note here that I haven't actually sent new gating information to the envelopes. I might, but I haven't done it yet. And all I'm doing is changing the note that the pitch that the note will be. I'm not changing when it will play. So let's experiment here, and first I'm going to fade the melody over to the alternate melody. So we robbed it of a bit of its pitch there. We don't really hear the ascending theme because I put it in. Which ones did I put it in? Whichever ones I put it in, it's no longer playing. It's no longer triggering the envelope on those notes, so you don't get it. What if we made the clock divider even slower? Now you get those notes of the alternate melody. Let's try switching this. You can hear the fifth there. So that's both alternates playing together. Let's go back to having the first melody, but with the alternate bass line. It's good. That's cool. That's what I wanted to do without... while knowing that I wasn't really going to be able to do that in my previous version of the Berlin Wall here. I do feel, though, that I want to go back and steal the that oscillator that we had before. I wonder if I can just recreate it. Since I had adjusted almost no settings, let's just move these down a little bit here. I used B again because I thought I needed those inputs. Maybe I can do it with just C. C sine wave only, and we've reduced the requirements for pitch input down to just 1. So let's drop him 2 octaves. The same pitch here that B is getting. Give him an identical envelope to speak through. In fact, I could even be... What is the envelope costing me? 1.4, while a mixer costs me 1.7. Okay. 3 inputs mixer is 89. Let's do it. Why even bother to give him an envelope if what I want him to do is the exact same sound? So instead, I'm going to mix him here with his sine wave buddy and feed the mixer's input into the voice. Now we get that real bass depth that I enjoyed so much in our previous patch. Cool. I've done very little to adjust. I know I adjusted this knob, but I haven't really messed with the filtration or oscillator settings because I want this to sound similar to Berlin Wall A, if you see what I'm saying. This is pretty good. Still got some power left for processing. I think I'm going to give him some kind of drums just because it'll help. And the other one, I was experimenting with the percussion sounds. I'm not even sure that will be final. I'm going to make a couple of drum masks here. Just 2 will be fine for starters. Although I want one of them to have the option to be annoyingly digital. Just do this for now. So, if anything, these drums may not match up to the drums in the other patch, but I think it kind of doesn't matter. I'm looking at them more as an alternate beat to let you still feel where the 1 is. But yeah, the fact that they don't match up to the other ones doesn't really matter. And I have to do the same trick here to remember that this channel is feeding the logic processor and then send that out to drum 1. Oh, so at least I'll get the same patterns that we're playing before. A lot of those cymbal sounds are going to be completely sample reduced into trash, but that's good. I want that. In fact, I think let's make it into trash. Drum that I love yet. I remember that percussion 6 is a very kick drum type sound. These are just not on the right hits. Nice. Minimal kick pattern there. Somewhat more busy cymbal hits. So varying the cymbal sound. Just hear it with that off. The drum and the hi-hat aren't really stepping on each other's toes. And the drum pattern is so simple, it certainly has a feeling of finality to it, I guess I'd say. This will probably be the like Berlin Wall A, maybe the first time we hear this melody come in, and then this is the variant that we hear later in the track. I could go in and mess around with the settings here on the filters, but I kind of don't want to do that right now. I kind of want to leave this the way it is. Yeah, it's good. I like it. And remember, we can still do this. this. Messes the melodies. I'm gonna just actually rename these. Melody CTRL 1. Don't have so much space. And melody control 2 here. Seems like something that will be useful to remember in the future. Give the kick drum a little bit of volume. Yeah. Nice. Awesome. So that's Berlin Wall B, baby. Save it in the synth. Does that count as a whole new patch? I guess it's hard to say. I'm trying to keep album related content in mind, or I guess I'm just trying to make sure these quote-unquote compositions end up somewhat useful to me. Not every patch has to be part of the album, but you know, the goal is to make something musical at least some of the time. That's what I was going for here today. So that's Berlin Wall B, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for another stream on any given Sunday. Peace.